to dig the colorful things we say.
Welcome. We are back.
We are fucking back.
We're back.
Maybe we should just have a single person do the intro.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Welcome back to
That's
Your Opinion, Man.
Absolutely. The special edition of That's Your Opinion Man with a third chair,
A
Dennis.
third party, yes.
Dennis King.
Dennis King right here.
Dennis
yes.
the King.
Dennis the King.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's Your Opinion Man is hosted by yours truly, Chris Marvel, and
Andrew here, as well as
Dennis.
all right,
There
that
we go.
works. All right. Yeah, let's just switch it up, even though we already said our last names, but whatever, guys.
Why is that such a thorny thing? Okay, I just introduced myself as Andrew.
I just think
We
it's
don't
so funny
all have a
because
cool last name.
every 1 week. Oh yeah, I mean I can
Andrew
say
the
Chris,
Destroyer.
yeah. I'm like, no, 1 week we're like something else, and the next week we're someone's like, I would love
I
consistency.
don't think people
Improv,
are
man.
expecting consistency.
Okay, whatever.
No.
Yeah,
from
no,
this
I
pool.
get you.
They like
yeah.
a wild card.
Yeah. Okay,
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
our niche is. Well, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I like that.
No two shows are the same.
I mean, the amount of cocaine on this table. Okay.
If only you could see. I love how this was cleaned
thought
off.
you
Are you
been-
nice
talking
and
to
clean.
me?
I thought you'd been baking over there.
Yes. Cook a crack up in the kitchen.
Why'd you give Dwight so much?
So many. Well, yeah.
So much cocaine.
Yeah, okay. All right, everyone, well, thank you
his little
guys.
snout can't get
Yes,
it all.
his little snouts
Little
can't get
snout.
all the coke. Oh fuck. Yes. Thank you. Welcome to our world again.
Absolutely.
We are here just to give you our thoughts and opinions and ideas about news and shit.
News and views.
All right, news and views.
We must apologize about last week,
The
last Saturday.
inconsistencies of loading and uploading and downloading.
Well, I would say it was we didn't record on Saturday like we normally do.
We did not,
We
no.
did not. And this call was due to the fact that Chris and I were quite hungover on Sunday there. So
Yes.
we went drinking Saturday, had a birthday party, and yeah, we're old men.
Yeah. Well, granted, yeah, it was that, like, I thought we were okay, and then we had one shot.
Did you wake up on Saturday and say, shit, I
Fuck
think I'm
this.
losing it?
No, Sunday, I'm like,
I had
fuck
paced
this.
myself the
Yeah.
entire time.
Yeah.
And then they bring a round of shots out, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. There goes my livelihood. Okay. Absolutely. Dennis, how's your week been?
It's actually pretty good. I cleaned out the garage.
there
Small
you go.
stuff like that,
Yep,
where you're
yep.
walking by piles and everything's meshed
It's
together.
very Jordan Peterson of you. Clean your own room.
And I think there was an element to that too. The year starting, gotta get moving and working outside and avoiding other things and wanting to get everything in line. I think I found something to organize and get my world centered a little bit.
Spring has more or less sprung in Minnesota, so that it gets
has.
you motivated.
Well,
Totally.
today
I cleaned
was-
my apartment, like
Good
my
for
whole
you.
apartment.
Yeah, I don't know if
Really?
you guys noticed
Yeah.
how
So
nice
you did
it
the
was
same
here.
thing then.
Yeah. Oh, I totally. It's the
Did
weather
you pull
change.
stuff out?
Did I what?
You know how? Because today I cleaned in the house and I pulled out the couch.
He never pulls stuff out.
I pulled out
he
the
never
couch,
pulls
got
out.
fully behind it.
Whoa, that was good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Now, do you sweep or
Yeah.
do you like just vacuum?
Well,
you
I
pull out
got
the
wood
vacuum?
floors, so I do a little bit of both. But
Yeah.
those dust bunnies, you can't really just sweep
You
them.
went fucking
So I
murdering.
get like a damp
Yeah, right.
paper towel.
Yeah.
Then I just kind of get those up a little bit. Then I sweep it.
There we go.
I don't need
There
to
you go.
worry about that because my dog just fucking eats dust bunnies. He'll just
Yep.
fucking sniff
Yep.
the whole ground and then he'll just start eating it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
There we go. That's actually awesome. I would kill to do that.
You know what's crazy though is when you're
Have that.
cleaning and then the sun comes in the window and just right, and you're kicking all this stuff in the air.
Oh yeah.
And you're
Just
like,
thinking
I'm
about-
being fucking productive.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, well that too. But you see all this. It's just like all this debris that we breathe.
Well, I'm
you
like,
know?
dude, I got fucking allergies. This is fucked.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't breathe the next day.
Yep.
I think it was the weather change caused us all to clean. And yeah, Chris, I must commend you on your apartment. I could walk all the way to the table
It was
without
fucking
bumping
great.
into anything.
It was great.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
everything was clean. I'll be honest, it was
Got
because
s-
of my date last night.
That didn't didn't
But hey,
occur.
I'm sorry, like I'm the most productive when I know I'm gonna have like the date.
She
and, like,
doesn't deserve you.
She doesn't deserve.
She doesn't
me.
deserve
Nope,
you, Chris.
She doesn't. She
Okay.
Doesn't. Yep, exactly.
You're a
yeah.
beautiful man. All right.
All right. Well, hey, let's talk about that. Yeah. So let's kind of get. Let's just talk about just the tip.
Just
No.
the tip
Of the
oh,
topic.
Oh, wait, we nearly forgot. our beer of the week.
Oh, you guys. Beers
Okay.
of the week.
Yep. There we go.
I need to come up with a beers of the week like dun, 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 or like
Something, a little thing we
yeah,
can.
yeah. Beers
I
of
can
the week.
Andy Dwyer it. Just
Yes.
okay. Fuck yeah. Nardog.
Nardog, yeah. So let's get into beers of the week.
Absolutely.
What did you say it's called?
Beers of the week.
No,
Should we set it up again?
The beer.
Beers of the week. I feel like we set this shit up like 8 times. Fucking.
beauty
So
of editing.
I am going to allow Chris to start off with his brew
All right,
here,
yes.
which is
So-
quite similar to the one I brought actually.
Yeah, and I don't even know. Oh, okay. I'm gonna fuck this up.
It's Yavatized.
Lupulin. Lupulin.
That's lupus.
Lupus Brewing.
Lupus brewing.
It'll get you where you need to go. So it's
I
Lupulin
think
Brewing.
It's the opposite of what.
I know, yeah.
What's the content
Is it
on that?
lupus? All I think is George Costanza. So anyways, so we are drinking a it's called a coffee stout Java. Oh, let's get you
Jesus
some.
Christ.
Get you some.
I'll give this. swig.
We'll edit.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
edit.
you can definitely.
Do you want some of mine?
Yeah, I got some right here.
Oh.
Or
Oh,
is,
I was
No,
gonna
no,
say,
that's different.
mine's
That's
fuller.
his
Is
stuff.
his full?
oh wow.
Yeah, no, I already poured in. Here, I'm gonna have you. Here. There you go. Just drink the rest of that. Boom.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's redo this then.
All right. Yep.
Beers of the week.
Beers of the week. I love that. I like that. Let's just get your. Yeah, I love that. All right. So let's get into it.
Nardog.
Nardog. So this is we're gonna try. This is the first one of two. It is Javatized coffee stout.
It's pronounced Yavatized.
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 Yes, yes, see. It's by Lupulin Brewing.
Lupus brewing.
Lupus Brewing.
Lupus.
I believe they are from Big Lake.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh, Big Lake?
Yeah, Big Lake.
So it came with the
Minnesota.
side of meth?
Off the res.
Came with the side of
Yeah.
meth.
No.
There, I like it.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, that's-
Came with a crack pipe.
It came with the crack pipe. We're editing
Maybe I
the shit
shouldn't
out of
make
this.
that joke.
All right.
Is that not good?
So, anyways, let's taste the coffee.
Let's take
stout.
a little swig here. We'll do this out of order so we don't have any. Yeah.
It's good. That's it. I'm gonna say out of a coffee stout, right?
We brought two really similar beers. And
They're both good.
I feel bad for this one
I know.
because I know how good mine was.
Yep. Okay, so
It's a solid beer.
I would say 3.5 to almost 4 stars out of this Lupulin.
I'm glad you said that.
That's damn wrong. No, we need a solid. Give a solid number.
A strong, very strong, a cock hard 3.
A cock hard 3. 3?
Yeah,
Not a 3.4?
I said 3.5.
Oh.
I thought you were saying.
I thought you said a 3.5 to a 4 point.
No,
whatever.
no. I said a 3.5 to almost a 4.
Okay,
Like,
but
I would say
between
2.5.
that,
Yeah,
where
I'd
would
say
you
a 2.5, 2.5,
For
3,
you, it's about
2.5?
2.5.
2.5.
Okay, 2.5.
Okay, a
I'm
lot
gonna
of-
say
a
3.5.
lot of
to 4.
ambivalence in these, but that's okay.
Yes.
A
You
lot
want a
of
solid
gray
number?
everywhere.
56 and a half. It's like, what?
No, maybe it's 3. I'll stick with 3.
Okay.
3. I
sure.
would say it's a 3. It's a 3.
I like
agree.
it, like, and we all have different tastes,
3.1.
whatever. Yeah.
3.1.
Okay,
It's a
we're spending
3.1.
way too much time on this. I say with this
we're interesting, Chris, okay?
3.5
Just don't-
stars out of 17.
Out of 17. Yeah. And that brings me to my beer here.
Ooh.
So we have actually I was here yesterday. Venn Brewing in Minneapolis.
How'd you hear about Venn Brewing?
This actually came on recommendation from my dumbass friend Chris Marvel here.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I know that guy.
He's
Hey, I know that guy.
He is a dumbass. No, I'm just.
Oh, God.
No, it was Chris. I appreciate the recommendation.
Yep.
You came through.
He went on a date.
I did. Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Tinder.
And she was very smart.
She was intelligent.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm just dumb. Either one. Okay.
yeah.
Everything's relative in today's world.
Yeah.
So Venn Brewing, which is a cool little spot if you're ever in Minneapolis. If you're ever going on the train from the airport to downtown, you can actually get off on, I think it's 46th station.
It's great, yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's great.
It's right there. Go
like-
get a beer, when you're going to your
They have food
airplane.
trucks.
They got
Yeah,
a food
yep.
truck. Cool little seating. It wasn't totally packed. Can we talk about the fucking hipsters that are invading these breweries on their
Where did
little
they come from?
computers? They're working on their computers. I'm like, it's loud as fucking here. You ain't doing shit.
Dude,
okay?
it's the same thing with
You
women
Instagramming.
who are at a bar and they're like reading a book. The fuck are you doing?
It's dumb.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Where did they
I
move
read a
from?
book at a brewery like 3 weeks ago,
Oh God.
but it was during the day.
Yeah,
It
who's
wasn't at
hipster?
night. It was during the day.
I joke
during
and I'm
the
like, I'm not hipster, but I have hipster tendencies. You are way more hipster than I am.
I was waiting to do a podcast. You're like, oh, I'm
You
busy.
said waiting on a duo pass.
Oh, I gotta work. Apparently.
Yeah. Oh, I
Apparently
gotta work on Saturdays.
So I went and
Fuck
got a
my
beer.
life.
I went and got a beer and I read my book.
Why don't you have anything to talk about? Well, I had to work until the podcast.
Jeez, yeah. You need to get a better job, Chris.
Oh,
okay.
shit. Yeah. All right. So let's get on to.
Wait, let's take a sip here.
Jesus Christ.
So this is their breakfast stout. Okay.
So yes,
Chris
this
is in a hurry,
Venn
but that's
Brewery,
okay.
VENN Brewing.
Let's do this.
Hey, there we go.
This is
L'chaim.
really good.
It's
Right?
pretty good.
There we go.
All right.
Honestly, it is probably my favorite breakfast stout.
Right.
It's
Okay.
my new favorite breakfast stout.
So then let's get
Coming
our.
from someone who doesn't drink. Right?
I love
the
it. though.
last
That's
time
great.
I drank
No,
was
that's
this.
good though.
That's great,
That's
yeah.
good though.
So then, what will you rate this fine, delicious beer from Venn Brewing?
So my founders and I needed to change this up a little bit. So
Hmm.
I had rated a founders. I believe it was a 5. That was a rookie score. Okay, so I need to expand my horizons a little bit, allow myself room to grow a little bit. So I'm going to change my founder score to a 4.5, which is still solid. This is actually a 4.6, just beats it out.
Boom, 4.6.
From a man who's been drinking the founder's breakfast
Hey-o.
stout for like 3 years now.
I would say, 4.5. I would say about
fucking
4.5.
good.
That's a
I'm
damn
still
good beer.
sipping on it.
Yep. Oh, I drank all of mine.
I'm there.
Well, it's one of the better beers that I've ever had. So,
That's-
yeah, I would follow your advice and go with the 4.6
There we go.
Would you
on the Andrew scale.
on
the
the
Andrew
like
scale.
yeah like and weren't you saying as far as
Andy Richter.
the Andy Richter?
Richter scale. There we go. There we go.
No, that's good. Yeah, especially I think it's kind of cool to you're not a beer drinker and then to hear kind of what your thoughts are because I
Yeah.
think what's going to happen is you're developing taste.
You're gonna be an alcoholic by the time we're done with you. Okay.
Give me 3 weeks.
There's an
No,
absolute
No, but it didn't
fact.
have an aftertaste.
I
and-
can have about 14 of these.
well, and here you
gotta work
you
tomorrow,
poured enough for a few drinks, and I kept I drank it
Yeah,
all.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, it wasn't it was about half a can,
That's
but
all, yeah.
instead
You
of
are a
just
light
sipping it,
sipper. You are a light sipper.
He's a light,
Light
sipper,
sipper.
ladies
And
gentlemen.
you
Heavy
you
tipper.
drink it.
Heavy
Yeah,
tipper.
There you go.
Yep.
There we go.
Oh, I love it, yeah.
No, absolutely.
All right,
yeah.
there we go, yeah.
Well, perfect. I think we can get into our tip of the topic. Tip of the topic.
Or just the tip
Just the tip
of the topic.
of the
There we go,
topic.
yeah.
Let us know in the comments there just how funny this whole
Is that
segment
stupid?
name
I feel
is.
like, yeah, like
it's
just the tip.
It's just perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous.
I just want to be like, are you guys ready for just the tip of
the topic.
It's like, that sounds creepy.
Of the
now, yeah,
topic. When we are respected news source, okay.
Yeah. Seriously, like, we could be,
well, gentlemen,
Oh.
yes,
Gentlemanly.
the gentlemen always just
Gentlemen.
the tip of the topic first,
the tip of the topic, and we will be here quite yes.
not a ruffian.
Not a ruffian. All right, so
We're
let's get in,
educated.
yeah.
Not just gonna
okay.
jump into it.
Let's
Gotta
kinda-
just ease in here, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of just easing it in, I just want to know real quick, how was your date, Andrew? Because I believe that's kind of what we were you know.
Date went well, Chris, and I may have been a little facetious when I had said about you suggesting this brewery, but
Okay,
it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
I do appreciate it. It was a good spot.
Yeah,
it was a good
awesome.
spot.
Okay, yeah.
She is intelligent,
Okay,
which is pretty darn nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You
It
love
was a
her already?
Good
You
first
love her
date.
already?
It's a
Yep.
good first date.
Yep.
But CJ kind of took you out of the way with not telling you where it was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had requested from Chris.
I didn't even realize. You're like, where do I go?
This woman, she's like, oh, I live in St. Louis Park. I'm like, I need a specific location, and Chris is just like, yeah, Venn Brewing, which is about 6 miles away from said specific location.
6 miles.
I
of
literally, I
nothing.
did not look it up at all, and like I leave work,
whose
and
fault
I'm
was
like,
that? You're
I
like-
didn't look it up at all, and
We sent you emails that your rent was like, well, I don't look at my emails.
oh my god, yeah. I leave work and I'm like, see you there, and I type it into my phone and I'm like, I don't even like look at the end destination. I'm like, I'm getting off here, and then I look and it's like just going down 20 blocks.
What are you
I'm
doing?
like,
Yeah,
holy
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah,
She didn't say anything though.
That's
so
good.
that's,
Okay.
that's
When
okay.
was the date?
It's okay. That was yesterday.
Have you followed up yet or talked to her at all?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis, thank you.
So these
Fuck.
guys were giving me shit
Oh, yes.
earlier
Because we want to know. Wait.
We need a consensus here. Okay, you
Yes.
go on a date. It was a good date. You know.
Did you kiss goodnight?
No, not on a first date.
Is that your rule?
That's just something I do.
Really?
That's something I do.
Okay.
I don't
Talking
know.
about a real
Have you
gentleman
not
here, people.
Have you not seen what's that dating?
Were you sitting across
movie?
from her? I think I coached this fucker.
Get the fuck out
And
of
I'm like,
here!
gotta sit next to her.
And I was just sitting there,
Engage
like
physically.
like Game of
And
Thrones
then
when he's
separate emotionally. It wasn't to the dentist system. It was the dentist system. That's why you fail.
Yeah. No. I sat down in the booth, and then she sat down.
Okay.
She chose where to sat. Okay. And I was like, no. You gotta sit here. No, I'm just
No,
joking.
oh, okay,
No,
gotcha.
no.
Okay.
No, it was casual meet. It's Tinder. Okay. It's fucking there. It's different.
Okay.
It's different.
All right. So
It's like
continue. So
it's like I'm far enough that you can't kidnap me, but I'm close enough to have a conversation.
I got you. Yeah, I
know?
recently
It's
talked to a
like,
woman, and
yeah.
she's like, and I forget how there's a lot of creepy ass dudes out there.
Yeah.
There's so many weird, like there's weirdos and there's psycho guys who are weird.
They're
as fuck.
everywhere.
They're everywhere. I'm like, and I'm so
Was that
naive.
6 out of 10?
Because I'm like, my
you,
mind.
you know
doesn't
where they
go there.
probably are? This cuddling group. We're about to talk about, okay.
Yeah, I love it. Hold on, wait. Before we get into that
Okay,
amazing
okay.
segue.
So the whole question is when do you text after a successful date?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
So these
I asked,
these
hey, did you
two-
text her today? And what
and
did
I
you
did
say?
not. I did not.
So this guy,
which I stand behind.
went on a great
I
date.
stand
He went on a
behind.
good. Was it a great date?
It was a good date.
It was a good date.
It was a good time.
Okay, it was a good time. She's
Yes.
smart. You like her. You want to.
She rubbed my back when we hugged goodbye.
That's awesome. Okay.
Like get a little frisky there.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I'm not a whore.
hey.
All you can say is boundaries. So you yelled out boundaries. She's like, hey, listen, I know you're a feminism.
No. She rubbed my back. I was like, goodbye.
All right. So it went well, and then today you didn't even communicate once to her.
No.
Okay.
Radio silence.
Radio
You
silence.
know,
Okay.
And
So you're playing a game? Is that what we're doing
it's
here?
It's a casual thing. I don't. If I text I texted her good night. You know, I got home safe.
Yep.
Oh, hey, got home. Blah 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 blah. Have a good night.
Yep.
And then I don't over communicate, at least initially.
Okay.
Well, that's a
Did
bit
she
more
communicate
information.
with you?
I mean, she
Did
blocked
she
me, I
text-
think. Like she
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah.
Is it normal to show up? Like once you go on a date with someone, they just go off of
Like,
Tinder.
wow,
right?
I
Like,
can't
you
see
can't
her.
See them
I can't
anymore?
see her Tinder
Her
profile,
profile.
or her Facebook
I
profile.
thought that just happened. Like you
Yeah.
know, it's like.
Why can't I send her the 50th message on this iTunes app?
But at least you did text her initially
phone
right
must have died.
after
It's just
that
going
night.
directly to voicemail.
you
okay.
yeah, after the date you initially
That night.
You send the
You say-
good night
you say
text.
goodnight.
Okay.
Okay.
Did not text her
winky
today.
face, anything like that.
Oh no! I say she doesn't seem to type that responds to the emojis.
Okay, good.
Okay. There's a type of woman that
Yeah.
enjoys the emojis.
You don't want to misapply that.
Other ones, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
So no, I did not, and now I feel super paranoid.
My
about
recommendation
it,
is,
and-
I'm sorry, like if I had a good date, every time that I've ever texted a woman the next day, it's always been a great response. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like,
I'm
like
not
Well, it shows
saying
you're
there
interested.
wouldn't
I
have
don't,
been,
I don't play those games.
but there's just as good of response tomorrow morning.
Say that again.
Cause you have a total you have an Instagram.
Yeah,
you
I
do that
yeah.
shit.
I'm way more social media.
You're so
minded.
much more social.
Yeah, yeah.
I am not.
Yeah.
Well, that's also being available too. You know what I mean? So,
I
so,
mean,
so
I worked. I did not stop all day.
I know,
and
no,
got
I know,
nothing
and I
done.
get it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't stop me from texting. 20
I mean, I'm gonna
today.
text her now,
joking.
but I'm gonna
Oh,
text
yeah,
her
yeah.
right now.
Tonight,
okay?
tonight you're gonna be like, I'm fucking sorry. I'm
so what
sorry,
is
I
that
wanna-"
guy rule then? Is it you
what's
said
the
tomorrow
guy-
morning?
So
would that be
what's-
like,
Did you read
what's
this?
that Will Smith movie Hitch?
36 hours?
Hitch. 36
no,
hours.
no, for you, my friend, it was Independence Day.
I don't get that at all.
Because he's alone, independent. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was joking.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I overcomplicated that one.
Yep,
there.
you did.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Don't be ruining my man's
Independence
jokes.
Day. Yep. Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
So the proper time?
The proper time. It's. I'm not overthinking it. 10:15 exactly.
10:15 a.m.
10
I like
a.m.,
that. It's
okay.
enough to where she's awakened.
Yes.
She's probably at work.
And I've been
busy.
able to like escape the bushes. on time, so I'm
Gotcha,
not out front of her apartment in any way.
Gotcha. Yes. What is
This
it?
is just going all
Those cigarettes
downhill
on your
right now.
windowsill. What is that?
I just spell out in cigarette butts. Like, I love you. Outside the window. Did you get my message? Did you get my message?
Cigarette butts in the bushes. That's so scary.
What do you mean you didn't see
It's
them?
okay. I'm dying because I'm dying for you.
Oh,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
I love
There'd be empty beer cans if you were there.
Steals beer cans. No, but I saw some
Breakfast stout.
homeless guy
Why
laying
is
on
there
my
so much
lawn.
natty ice out from my window? Okay.
Oh fuck! I love that.
All
All right.
So okay, that's
was
not too
good.
bad.
That was
yeah, that's
good.
good. That's good.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think you guys are overthinking me underthinking it. Can I just say that?
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say. And
I just thought I'll text her in 2 days.
Well,
No,
it just
no, no,
depends
no.
on how much you like her.
I
you know?
disagree because that is what you just did today was an actual thought out thing, or how do I say this? You purposely are not texting her.
No,
today.
what I'm doing is I'm making myself text her.
No, you.
Oh, that sounded
purposely-
really bad. We're gonna
Yeah.
edit that out.
You purposely not texting her.
I just don't text. I don't text.
Liar.
No,
We text a
I
million times
don't.
a day.
'Cause I have
and
to.
you get so cute and giddy
I-
when every
Jesus
time that I
Christ.
text you.
There's
Sitting
some
in the
funny
same
shit.
office.
Yeah, we're literally
All-
we're
all I-
literally feet apart and we're texting
Like
each other.
3 feet away, I'm like, "What you doing?" And all I hear from Andrew is, "That doesn't happen." But hey, it
Do you
could.
time those texts out? Say, oh, it's only been 1 minute since
I'm
you
not
texted me.
texting Chris until
you just-
3:15.
Yeah, I gotta wait
Chris-
4 minutes in between time.
Yeah.
Chris is just sitting at his desk and goes, and he just like a little smile just goes across his face. Okay,
I
it's
can
like,
see it.
He's thinking about me. Okay.
The endorphins running.
The endorphins. Why watch porn when you can get texts from Andrew?
I mean, hell,
Yeah,
that vibrate.
yeah.
I wondered why you have your phone on like the extra long vibrate. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Well, speaking of extra long vibrate, let's get into the tip
Just
of the topic.
of the topic.
All right.
Absolutely. Tip of the topic. Tip,
Tip
of the topic. There we go. There we go.
Tip of the topic. Coming
Absolutely.
soon.
So we are. I kind of alluded to it already.
Yes, you
did. What we are going to be discussing, at least initially here, is a men's therapeutic cuddling group. Okay. And I'm just going to read directly from their Meetup page. So it's meetup.com, spelled MEAT.
Yes.
Is that what we're doing? Okay.
Yes.
I totally stole Chris's joke
You
there. I totally stole Chris's joke there.
Oh, that was
but It was
good.
fucking perfect.
Oh, that was
okay.
good, yes.
Okay, we can
That was
re-record
good.
and let you
No,
say it.
no,
okay.
No,
No,
that is-
no.
you got it. It was good. We're good. Yep. Yeah, that was good.
So meetup.com. MEET.com. Okay.
Yes, yep.
Men's cuddling group. Okay. And I'm just going to read directly from the website here.
Gotcha. Wait, is this the direct website or your profile?
No, this is
your online profile.
no. It's just like my cleavage, my hairy chest. Okay,
yes.
you know you want to bury your face in these. Okay, all right. What was it? Fight Club.
Fight Club.
I was
bitch tits?
visualizing that too.
Is that his
Terrible.
name? Bitch tits?
No, what's that guy's
Is
name?
it Meatloaf though?
Meatloaf. Oh, well, that's
That's
the
the actor.
actor.
What was his name? Oh, I want to look that up.
Bitch tits.
I just remember them.
I don't know,
like,
but I saw
describing
it
him as
recently and it
bitch
was
tits.
terrible.
Yeah.
I have it on Blu-ray.
Well, no, Fight Club's a good movie.
It's a good
Oh,
movie.
I no, I'm not. Yeah, it was a decent movie. I'm
His
just saying though
boobs,
that
They
visual.
weren't up to your caliber?
No,
No. Hard pass.
brains processing.
Hard pass.
His name was Bob.
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 There we go. Yes.
Bob, and he had bitch tits.
Thank you.
That's what it was.
Okay, there we go.
yes,
Yep.
yes, that's how they described it. We're not
Okay.
saying, bitch
Yeah.
tits, all tits matter. Okay, so
I like
Yeah.
that.
so let me read how they describe it here directly off their meetup.com page. It says, hello, good
Why
guys.
is it on meetup.com? I'm sorry, I just interrupted, but why is it on meetup.com?
Well, it's a
So-
place to meet people.
Yeah,
to me.
no,
sounds,
Meetup-
sounds
I-
totally legit.
when-
I'm
when
going
you-
into this with an open mind.
Okay.
When I first moved to the cities, I would I look at meetup.com to like make friends. It's like I feel like meetup.com is like I just moved to a city and I don't know anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to make connections here. This is a little
If you
different.
can see
though.
Dennis's
Two
smile.
two dudes. Okay, you don't
Hey
get
man, we just want to hang out.
it. Drink beers and hug it out. All
And
right,
hug it out,
that's
bitch.
all we want.
Yeah. Oh, I love
So it starts off with "Hello, good guys." Red flag immediately. Okay. The intention of this meetup is to provide a safe, structured, and platonic environment for men to experience what I call the 3 A's: acceptance, affirmation, and affection. Okay. Now, why you guys think that's funny? Okay, that is empowering. Okay.
Silence.
Just silence. It's as an idea on the whole, it's okay, but it's
Wasn't
not
there
how
more of,
guys
like-
work.
Well, too, and
I got it
it's suspect too because you also in earlier before we started filming here when you read it a little bit, don't they check IDs?
So it's 18 plus.
So 18
First of all, if
plus?
it's platonic, I guess you can't.
Why did you say platonic, dude?
Why do
it's
they
not
say
platonic, it's
platonic?
just
Don't they?
platonic.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Why did
It's
they
platonic,
say that?
ain't it though?
Platonic. No, that's I have a southern accent. Platonic.
Platonic.
Okay, because it's like when you got your food on your plate and they don't touch. Okay. I don't know. It's really
Okay,
bad.
okay.
No, it's fucking bad.
Okay. But they do a verbal consent between
it's-
the group, right?
Verbal consent, and you give consent of where you're okay to be touched. Okay, that's what they say. Okay.
All I can think of is
Very,
Charlie,
very.
where did he touch you? Charlie.
Actually, okay. So Always Sunny in Philadelphia has an amazing. And Dennis, you had brought this up. The night crawlers.
The night crawlers,
which
yes.
I need a little explanation of. If you ever seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's the best show that you're never gonna watch.
Yeah, everyone is.
Well, they're in
all
like
over.
season 14 now, so it's
That's
like,
so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised Frank is still alive. In all honesty.
yeah.
I bet he's probably healthier than ever now, though, just because of fame and how much money they get. And,
Oh yeah. Well, it's just it's like men who are not accepted by other men get kind of pushed out a little bit from the group, and I think, and they're not going to get the women, and
Yeah.
so it's like nobody really wants
It's a
that type of
support
weakness.
group for
Yeah.
feminized men, or is it a support group for feminized men, or the feminizing of men?
Well, I think it's sort of like tomato and tomato. It's the same thing, you know what I mean? Because I know China's probably like they're just watching that and they're like, how do we keep that going? We don't have to do anything.
Dude.
We don't even have to fire a shot over there.
Uh,
Just open up man cuddling clinics and make it socially acceptable.
it's one thing like we've had that one friend had too much tequila, starts talking about his girlfriend that he loves so much, and then just hugs it out.
Gotcha.
We've had that, but that person. Okay,
Yeah.
these are a bunch of dudes just meeting up and hugging out.
Yeah.
Okay,
So wait. Are
And
they,
then the
are they
thing is,
hugging or are they
it's
cuddling?
cuddling.
And is there a
They
difference?
describe it as cuddling. They make sure to
Man,
note that
I
it does
cuddle
not
on
take
a
place
Sunday
on a-
morning, but we end up having sex. Watching a movie.
yeah.
Like that's what cuddling
That's
is.
the
like
point of
like
cuddling.
Just
you
he's just
want- you wanna-
rubbing it
you
in
wanna-
our faces,
do you wanna
Andrew.
come over
That's
and
all
cuddle?
he's doing.
Sorry.
Listeners out there,
Yep.
he's just
Yep.
rubbing
Yep.
it in your face.
If you ever go on a date with Chris, okay, just remember this. Okay,
This is going to
Yeah.
increase his dates
Yeah.
Oh,
now.
we cuddling.
So this
okay?
is why I need to text the next day. I really
Yeah,
fucked
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Okay,
You need to increase your cuddling chances here. Yeah.
I think one funny note here. It says, "Please note, men with back or knee injuries or those suffering from obesity may find it difficult to fully participate." What kind of cuddling are they doing over there? Like,
Stop it. It's hard for me to breathe.
Well,
I
it's
don't feel supported enough. There's 6 of us.
Well, who cuddles on their knees?
it's as weird as you think it is. It's as
Right?
weird as you think it is, and this whole nobody's trying to stigmatize anybody, but do what you want to do and have fun doing it. But
We're gonna
it's
make fun of you.
yeah, no,
little bit. It's all in jest.
Yeah, and it should be because guys like that should, reincorporate themselves back into the group. Instead, they're just going further out. You know what I mean? And this is why they're over there in the first place.
They're finding a group that is in
You're
outskirts.
saying
They're
it's
not-
a gateway drug. Is that what you're saying? It's
Yes.
a gateway drug.
Sooner or later, they'll have a cowboy hat on and be hooking for cheeseburgers.
I love it. Well, no. I think you kind of bring up like at least.
Goddamn, Randy.
Something. Goddamn, Randy. I love
You fat
Oh, you
bastard.
fat bastard. No, but I think it's interesting though, and I think we can maybe talk about this like some later time, whatever. But I'm noticing there's groups, people in America, whatever, that like, almost like not celebrating differences. Let's say you're on the outskirts, right?
Yeah.
And you're away from norms, right? what happens is now
Normies, I think they're called.
normies, yeah.
Yep.
But then all of a sudden you find these people, and then that like almost like
I
how do I say this, like
it's like the
strengthen
bronies.
your-
It's
what?
like the bronies.
Well, no, I'm just thinking about chicks who are really crazy and they have that weird fucked up hairstyle.
Yeah.
The really short bangs, and
Bangs,
they're out there with the green hair, right?
Yep.
And it's like that's just you're out there, but then they have their like little support groups that are like,
Oh, yeah.
no, it's okay, it's good. And it's like that's not
Well,
helping.
and-
You're not coming here. You're just going away, and then you're just like, that's a horrible bad example. Jesus.
Well, we talked about this
the
before.
alternative lifestyle support
Well, yeah.
groups.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's validated out there, and it's kind of like I wrote this too the other day that it's kind of I think I thought of it. It's like enlighten all sexual, whatever. It's all permissible in our culture.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
enlightenment, it's like you can't repress anything.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
And even right now,
your,
like
your
I said,
acceptance of
Yeah.
these alternative lifestyles is shown as morality.
well, yeah, and they got little 10-year-olds dressing up as drags, doing like naked thing, and they got.
yeah.
Did you see where they have the people who are like doing drag queens doing a story hour, and two of them are sexual.
Actual sexual offenders.
Yeah, actual sexual offenders.
Yeah.
And even right now, it's like in San Francisco, they have street named after Harry Hay, NAMBLA, National Man Boy Love Association.
Shut up.
No, it's not. Look it up. And it's like I think there's somebody. I
NAMBLA.
think who's running from San Francisco. It would be nice for them to be, especially in a Me Too movement, them to be asked in that name. That's as far as something needs to be taken down. That needs to be taken down. Harry Hay is a street, and you could just Google it. Man Boy Love Association.
I would hate to think that people think we are comparing men hugging it out to NAMBLA.
Well,
it's a slippery slope, my friend.
Well-
slope's getting slipped.
No.
Okay.
I guess what I'm talking about
if
is,
you don't
That's
check
not good
IDs,
news.
then it is a slippery slope.
yeah. Like, listen, did anyone check his ID? Because I'm getting a huge boner right now.
Oh my god. Well, it's like it's. I feel like it's the
The fringes of society
these people that came up with it. It's a reaction to quote unquote toxic masculinity. The thing is all of these men support groups, all of these men only groups, they're getting destroyed in today's society. Boy Scouts accepts women now. The Elks Lodge is not a thing anymore. When men see these men only groups, what do? They call it gay. Men call men only groups gay. Why would you do that? Why would you go to an Elks Lodge or something like that?
Yeah.
Like that's the mentality among men right now. Like we don't think of ourselves as like a group in any way.
Here's my question, and like,
So they actually like join
and-
possibly gay groups.
Well, and the
Like,
thing is
man
like
cuddle.
it's like since you don't have that camaraderie, those people on the fringes that really need it, you know,
Yeah.
it's like that one. This whole group is the annoying guy at the bar that just wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
It really is. And he's just not getting enough, in his life, and he wants friendship and things like that. This is the most extreme version of
I was
that.
at a dog park, and it was a woman, and she just like kept talking at you,
Yeah.
and like she kept talking to us, and like I could tell she was talking to this one woman, and she just kept talking about like her personal life and it's like whatever, and I'm like, okay, and then she started like, oh, you got gauges and blah blah, and she's like, I got them too, blah, and like she was just like she couldn't get it was just.
I feel horrible.
I know, and like I talked to her and I felt
Yeah.
bad, but like it was, you could just tell that something was missing, and she was just starving for that
Interaction.
Yep.
Yes. Meaningful conversations, or just conversation at all. Yeah.
Here's my question, and this is just, now we're just deviating.
Don't worry about it. Just go for it.
But why is masculinity toxic? Like, I go on dates, and I'm in the dating world, and
It isn't.
and it's a struggle, because on one end I would say I when I tell people too is like, dude, I'm a feminist. I believe in equal rights.
Sure, in the true sense
in
of
the
the word.
traditional
sense
sense.
of
Yeah.
feminism, right?
Yeah.
And I grew up with
You're an equalist.
my stepmother was a breadwinner. Like,
Yeah.
I'm no stranger to that.
Yep.
I don't think, whatever.
Yeah.
So there's times where I'm going on dates where women don't mansplain don't open the car door. But then all of a sudden, then there's
They
a lot
don't
of,
want you to open the car door.
No, oh no.
No, I've had
Like,
people be
and-
rude because
You
I open the door.
You told
for
me
people.
about women that said
There-
don't mansplain.
there's
and
women
you're like,
that-
well, you just don't understand.
Yeah. It's, how can you when your brain's smaller?
You gotta understand, but your period.
yeah. But no, and so and then there's times
attracts
about
the bears.
and then there's like, hey, let me pay for it. She's like, no, I feel weird. I don't want you to pay for it. And I'm like, okay. And so, but then there's also on the flip coin where there's women who are like, no, I want a man who's in charge. I want I want a fucking
Yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah.
I want a man
Yeah.
who will
And
like
you will
offer
always-
to pay.
you will
I
always feel
I want a
better.
man to fucking be there. I want
Yeah.
a man not dominant, but like what's the,
reliable.
no, well that no not aggressive, but assertive.
Sure.
Like I want a
Yeah.
man
Well,
who's assertive.
yeah, a lot of
Sure.
I've heard
Yeah.
that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, yeah.
it's like, and so me as a single, I'm like, I want to be who I am, and I feel like I'm all of that. But also though, it's like, what the fuck? Am I watering? Like, does this plant need more sun or does it need more water? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't fucking know.
In
Yeah,
my
no, and you-
personal
that was a great analogy right there,
No,
by the way.
yeah, that was good. In my personal experience, they're always very comfortable with men paying at least the first time, and then if you go out again, I've had women just I pay again, and I don't care because in my
yeah.
mind I'm gonna pay, but then someone will like, hey, no, you got last one, I'll get this one.
I like to say, hey,
Yeah.
I'll pay for this one. If we go out, like, you get the next one.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
you can
but-
preface it. I just assume like I come from a small town where
Yeah.
just the dude pays.
But here's the
The
thing:
guy
is
pays.
what's
Should
so
be.
toxic about masculinity?
Nothing. And the fact
And
that
so why? So is it being associated with something else?
of course it's being associated with something else, but it's also too the fact that that's like a created concept. The fact
Yeah.
that we're even talking about it, it's sort of like giving it influence. And then it's sort of remember when I said to you, I texted the other day and said that memes are I thought I heard him dog peeing.
No, he's just
But memes are an effective way to communicate in the culture, right?
Yep.
Well, so is what are we talking about? Because he moved this right here and it just.
Sorry, talking about masculinity.
Masculinity.
And like.
And the social construct of toxic masculinity,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
now
I was saying,
you're questioning yourself and you don't even know what to do.
Yeah. Are they?
It's an effective a way to get into a person and change into even make it hard to have interpersonal connectivity.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to talk to her and be yourself and you can't because of all these constructs that aren't even real, inside her mind, and it's just acting itself out. So
Yeah.
it's sort of like art imitating life. Instead, it's like art. It's like art creating life, because this is just like an academic term.
When I think of like toxic masculinity, it's like when you're going on a date and the waiter comes and
We shouldn't even
I'll
think
have-
about toxic masculinity, though. We should say
No.
erase it out of the fucking board.
Well, it's like when the waiter comes and you're like, I'll have this, and she'll have this.
And she'll have
Yes, I think a lot of people think that, but guys don't do that.
No.
We don't do that.
Well,
And the
no,
only
well,
reason,
no,
and I can guarantee
I
the
can't
only
say that.
reason,
No, because it's the same thing with me not being naive of men being fucking creepy. There's a lot of weird psycho dudes out there.
You
They're,
ever
course,
they're-
sure.
dude,
What?
order for a chick?
There's
though?
there's
That's
dudes
weird.
no, but there's guys who think like that too, though.
Yeah,
There
but that's
has
like
to be.
a different. Everyone who thinks different has a different reality. So it's like
I've heard a lot of women who like I go on dates and I hear what their dates are like.
oh, dude, you don't have to convince us. I had a
I'm-
single
I'm-
mom.
There,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
the
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
we have. I haven't heard about like just the actual dating face to face. There are weird dudes out there. Women have told me about their the conversations they get from these guys, especially over Tinder, where they will message and get mad that they're not getting a
Oh, yeah.
response. It's like that's fucking weird.
But and it's
weird.
the conversation here is that masculine. It's not masculine to
No, it's
act like
desperation.
a macho jerk. But where is that line sort of being mixed up? It's like the word illegal and legal in immigration. They're doing that on convoluting those two on purpose, and it's no coincidence that it's coming from the same academic line
Yeah.
down from the experts, that it's kind of the
because-
muddy toxic masculinity. It just muddies everything, and it's
It's just
The
the
thing
nerdy
is-
guy,
But it's
Exactly.
not.
who doesn't know how to be in this social thing.
They weren't invited
Yeah.
to the parties.
They weren't invited,
They weren't
so then
hanging
now they're
out.
like,
They if they weren't a professor, they would be that drunk
they're
at the
dumb
bar,
jocks.
begging
It's
for
toxic
attention.
masculinity.
but
Honestly, it's society's fault. It's society's fault. Push
But
it off.
a man in his
breaking down
natural
boundaries, y'all.
state is the natural state of man, and when they're playing games here, and it's like I talk to people right and left, and this weakness that we see in a lot of men and boys,
Yeah.
women. I talk to a lot of moms, and even their sons. Or I talk about this one. They're like, "Yeah, I can't believe everyone knows." Kids are, especially young men, are living with their parents way too long nowadays.
Yep.
This is
Which surprises me. Like the
Well-
average age a millennial leaves their home is like 26.
25, 26. Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, you're still a kid at
Yeah.
25, 26, and they convince people that until you're 35, you haven't even really formed your brain.
They are literally.
It's the same
saying-
experts who created the term toxic masculinity.
They are literally saying that
that are making these guys
adolescence
weak.
Goes until 30. They're
Yeah.
literally saying that now.
Well, they're too weak to act.
Like-
You tell them they're too weak to act, then they're too weak to act, and then the
Yes.
woman doesn't want them anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They end up fulfilling
That's
the
why-
prophecies that you have told them.
Well, and that's why the jerks sometimes get the women too.
Well, it's
Well, yeah,
Because
jerks.
They're more natural
They're
to what they're
assertive.
looking for. Well,
Yes.
and a woman's looking for security, someone who can
Yeah.
protect them, and
Yeah. They look for women look for confidence. That's first and foremost, which is why Chris does so well.
Well, they might, yeah.
I've had
Honestly, that's why you do so well, Chris.
I've had conversations with friends where I'm like, there's so many women who have their profile and like teach me something. I want to be taught something. And like I've had women say, "What? No." Feminists like, "No, I don't want to be taught anything." It's like, yes, you do.
Well, you
Most-
can't tell them that though.
Well, but what? But that's what's so funny.
They just want someone who's knowledgeable.
They want, yeah.
They don't want someone. They don't want to teach you. They want someone who's knowledgeable.
Yes. But I'm saying, but no, I've heard,
Yeah.
I've read.
Gotta say, it ain't
it
me,
says,
babe. It ain't me,
teach me
babe.
something about
No.
your.
This goes back
teach
a
me
little
something-
farther
yeah.
between me and Chris here
Oh,
because
yeah,
we had
yeah.
a friend who took umbrage to that statement
Yeah.
there a little bit. But no, it's totally true. And you literally had, you literally went on a date where she said, "I want to be taught things."
Yes.
You know, yeah. And you're like, "I got a micro penis. I'm
got-
sorry. I
Biggest one in
it's
town.
a short
though.
lesson,
It's
okay?"
Hey, oh, there we go.
Oh.
Yes.
But it's
I want to
done
be taught
confidently.
things. What do you mean? Like she says, I'm a type of person who likes to learn, or is she like you're like the 50 Shades gray thing, and she's like, teach me. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no,
Which one was
it's
it?
basically no, like, I want you to teach me about something. Like, it's,
Oh, she's just saying,
She
I want
wants
you to be of
passionate about
substance.
something.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yes,
okay.
yeah.
To share some substance,
But it's not. But it's
some
but
of
like,
that essence of the marvel.
essence of the mouth. Yeah. Of course, it's delicious. Do you want to pour a little bit for me?
Yeah, I will.
All right, there we go. All right. So it does both of them actually. I had different beers in there. So anyways, so yeah, we just kind of got off a little.
They want a passionate man.
What a passionate man.
Passionate
yeah,
man
yeah,
who's what's that called when they're like passionate and learning about things. There's some word that kind of just envelops that. Not new age.
Not a go-getter.
Yeah, I'll think of it eventually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Not inspirational, but somewhat.
you know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
All right. So, anyways, so there's a group out there.
virile.
Virile. That's a lot. dude.
Venereal. Is that what they want? Yeah, venereal.
Yeah. That's a lot, dude.
What? Yeah, it's good. I gotta drive home.
He's like, just drink more. God. All right.
You just gotta go 10 feet, Chris.
Yeah, and you
Okay.
just got to make sure you wait a whole day on purpose for it.
So, after
I did not
Texting him
expect that to
back.
come from a cuddling men's
well,
group
here's the thing.
on the internet.
And
there.
after all this, doing on the online dating and all these different women, whatever, the reason why is because I got divorced. And you know who else got divorced? Jeff
Jesus.
Bezos.
Oh, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos. Yes. Going to our very good. Very. I
I'm like,
totally
come on, you guys.
clusterfucked
Yeah,
that
I'm
one.
good.
Okay.
I wonder
there we
what
go.
their wedding cost, because it's like if you thought that wedding was expensive.
So they were married in 1993. So they've been together for a very long time.
It's a trip to think of how many years that was. What is that?
That's-
20.
I was born in 91.
Wow.
Yeah, they've been married almost my entire life. Did you hear about his sex, like sextus?
No.
Like his texting
I
of the
didn't hear
sex?
any about his
Okay.
sex. Was it loud or
It
like
was. I mean, I was
thin
right.
walls?
I mean, he paid me a lot of money to just watch. Okay.
Stand in the closet over there.
He honestly,
No.
Yeah.
Open it up a little more.
You look
I
like a
need to
poor
see-
man's Chris Pratt.
my safety word. My safety word is 24-hour delivery. Next day delivery. Okay. Jeff Bezos here, and this is pretty interesting. Has divorced his wife Mackenzie, which is a basic bitch name. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Is
Yeah,
that a little
well-
rough right there? Maybe that was a little too much.
Maybe, but
It's a basic white girl name, Mackenzie.
she seems to fit the profile.
She's actually pretty good looking.
Why did they get divorced?
Why did they get divorced? I think it was because he was cheating on her.
Oh. Did they
like,
just lose the
like
sparks?
he had some. He's a billionaire and he's got these secretaries, and he's just going after him, just like so many other rich men in the world.
I know.
So
What is he in the top 10, right?
he's
like-
the richest.
He's like king. Oh,
he's the
okay.
richest now. He
Yeah.
passed. Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world. Like so they divorced. She gets $36 billion, billion with a B in stock of Amazon.
That's crazy.
She
so she could sell that all and become
she would
the-
be like the fifth
richest
richest
woman?
person in the world.
Wait, who is the richest? Is Oprah really the richest woman in the world or no?
That probably sounds about right. It's probably Kim Kardashian.
Oh,
But
the disdain.
how do you get divorced? What is the justification for receiving $36 billion of a company that you did not work to create? Like where does that come from?
Well, she's got that lifestyle you got to keep up.
Apparently that billionaire lifestyle. Yeah. Okay. That's just absolutely insane to me. You know what she should have gotten? She should have gotten $15,000 a year.
15 grand.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Honestly, go to work, lady. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like, I don't know how much this dude works. I mean,
oh, Jeff Bezos is a damn robot. The fact that she was married to him for 26 some years,
Well, and
that's
that's-
probably worth
that's kinda what I think about,
36 billion.
yeah.
I think
He's not a human being.
she's jumped to the number 3 richest woman in the world. Women in the world.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's a
God.
big jump up.
Who's number one?
It's a French woman named Frances Myers. Number 2 is Alice Walton. Walmart, I believe, right?
Yeah, the Walton. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Walton family. Okay.
really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Dude, the Walmart family is just loaded.
Yeah.
Loaded. Just insane.
Yeah.
My brother lives in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where Walmart's based. That whole area, the reason why they have roads is because of Walmart.
Yeah.
That's no
Organizing in a distribution setup
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
built that. That's crazy.
joke. Yeah, totally.
You remember Kmart? I do.
Fuck
It's like
Kmart.
Walmart was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Kmart was there and Target was
Kmart and Target.
this, and
yeah.
then boom.
Target's. I can't believe they still. Is that
Who was
still,
the first one to do those superstores? Was it Walmart? And then I think Target just like every one of their. It's like they're all superstores
they just
now.
couldn't
Oh
compete.
no, yeah.
Listen to what I
Well,
just
the
said.
thing is, it's like,
Superstore. I use their
Superstore.
their language to elevate their
what is-
product.
What is Kmart? What
It's
does
a
Kmart
store.
do?
No, it's a
And
superstore.
what I don't know is
Came
what's
apart.
Sears? What's
Yeah.
Sears? I
Well,
don't
here's
know.
the thing: is how did what was it?
Good branding.
So Costco, so there was Target, Kmart, Walmart. Walmart just like was boom, right? Huge, and then of course then it was Costco. Target was like losing, and then all of a sudden Target just did something, rebranded itself, and like really became just
Yeah.
something else. Like
Yep.
if they don't have
Best
to worry
Buy
about
too. Best
Walmart.
Buy was sinking.
Yeah,
and
they
then
were.
They
what did they
turned
do?
it around.
Yeah, I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
No, they did. Well, they
Both
kept their
both are
market
Minnesota
share. Yeah.
company-based
Yeah.
companies, which is kind of cool actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We,
and
we do
I don't know
good.
if we
do
see
good.
more of that because we are local, or I mean, I'm curious what it looks like still nationwide, or Best Buy's just like
No, Target and Best Buy are huge still. Yeah,
they-
totally.
Target failed,
But
in
they're
Canada.
probably not as.
Did
prep-
it? Target failed in Canada.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, well, they
yeah.
fail. Of course, they open in. They're probably
Target, all right. Get your
like the
clothes
way
there.
Target is here. It's probably like if I don't know if like say Chicago. There's probably not a Target at every couple of exits like there is here.
Oh, no, there was,
there's
yeah.
a Target.
Oh, there is?
Wes and I
almost
went to
everywhere.
Target.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
there's
cool.
a lot of Targets. Not as
Right in
many
downtown
here.
Chicago, too.
There's not 6, in a metro, but
Is it
like
like
I had-
L.A. is like the coast or Texas? Is there
Yeah, they're
Targets?
everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but they we had one
I don't know.
Target
Best
growing
Buy,
up,
that's what
and it
it's
was a
called.
shithole. It was a shit Target. Like there are shitty Targets out there. Y'all got nice Targets here. That's what
Y'all
I'm
got the nice ones.
Well, it's funny too that just the different quality of people going
Yeah.
to Target. And women seem to like they market to women a lot. Target.
Well, it's no fair, man.
Yeah, yep.
Seriously. No fair, because you look at their clothing. They got tons of clothing.
Yeah.
Guys, we're finally starting to get decent clothing. I noticed
Chris carries such a torch for these
Man,
kind of topics.
I'm sorry. Fuck.
Hair care, men.
I'm a fucking man.
care.
You know?
I'm a man.
Their slim
Hear me
fitting
roar.
their slim fitting jeans are different.
You know what's the best jean invention in the world? Is the stretchy material. They got
Elastic?
the stretchy jeans now. That's fucking awesome.
Like a tight pants.
It's like
men wear?
it's like normal jeans, but like they stretch when you
Oh,
like
okay.
move. Yeah. There we go. Well, I think we talked about that pretty darn well here.
Yeah.
I think our main topic is it's going to be
Why and how creepy Joe Biden is.
I feel
He's as
bad
creepy
for
as
him. I feel bad
Herbert
for
the
him.
pervert. So and we laugh and accept him.
I can't
He's
do that.
not her. I'm your grandpa. I'm everyone's grandpa. I think that's what
Let-
they
let-
want us to think.
I'm sorry. My grandpa grabs me way too tight. Always.
Yeah,
That leads
no.
itself to a lot.
But
Chris.
my hips though, and then he
Jesus, don't
slowly
do
runs
this.
his
No, I don't want it.
hard fingers
it's-
down my neck. When I mean neck, I mean the neck of my dick.
Oh my god! You took me there. I was like,
Also known as my shaft.
no, I won't say that he's any
We're gonna
Herbert.
edit that out, right? We're gonna
Herbert
edit that
either.
the fuck out. Chris,
You know, the only thing
hold
I'm
on.
only afraid
if,
of.
If we're gonna
is
edit
getting a
that out,
boner.
then is that the different colored skin from the top to like an inch down, where it's a different colored skin? You know what I'm talking about? Is that the neck? Is it the
You're
neck?
just
Is
like,
the darker
neck.
skin?
Grandpa, I'm already circumcised.
Let's see if we can get you a little more circumcised. I don't know what that means.
No, and look, and it's the type of thing where he's not Herbert the pervert, and I shouldn't have said that, but I guess
No,
it's sort of
no.
like I was saying, though, we laugh at that type of
It's
extra affectionate, that we know is just a little bit, and if you look at some of those photos, I mean, he's looking at a little kid and he's like, let me get a photo with her. Have you seen the one where Jeff Sessions is like fucking slapping his hand away from the kid?
no.
Yeah, it's like
No.
just
Really?
weird.
There's a video.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we'll look that up.
Yeah.
I did not. When I what kind of changed my mind about it was when I heard someone say, "Would he do that to a man?" Like I don't know if I've he's like with Barack, he's like grabbing him by the shoulders and shit. But I've never. I don't know. Maybe it looks different on a man. When you're grabbing him, I don't know. I really don't know. It's one of those interesting things. Do I think we're being a little overly sensitive? Yes. Do I think conservatives are jumping on it like crazy because they have a strong candidate against Trump that they can just malign right even before he's announced for his presidency? Yeah, a little bit.
Well, wait. What was the
There's some creepy ass shit though he's done.
And also you can maybe think of like the whole Kavanaugh thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a Republican. Oh, now we're getting a Democrat.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
know,
and
I
you
mean,
can see
it's-
the media's reaction is absolutely different.
Yeah,
it's it's night and day when it comes to these.
But
two
why the
things.
fuck
Yeah.
aren't we talking about Cardi B?
Well, the thing too is
Joe Biden's hugging people. Cardi B's drugging bitches and
It's Cardi B is a gorgeous woman. Okay.
Yeah, and did you see that Rick Ross defended her, but he's on record of talking about slipping girls roofies too. So it's like, yeah, of course you're defending her. You've done the same thing, you goofy.
Hey, we've all drugged a bitch once or twice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But for how far back did you first hear that Joe Biden was kind of creepy?
No, it was literally like a
Ever
couple
since he
weeks
laid
ago.
his hand
No,
on
for
me.
me, I've seen it for probably years.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean? So,
Touchy.
like, to me, does it disqualify him from being president? Well, if there would be somebody that came in and said he did such and such, and it was like, wow, that's crossed the line. But then again, some little perverts are good at playing that line. You know, I got my kids were at Nickelodeon Universe. We're here. I watch mine. You see like weird guys like by themselves
They
walking
had
around.
the Minneapolis cuddling convention.
That's what I was
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But you know, so. But you know, he's not.
You
he's
didn't know?
He's not quite.
We'll tug it out, bro. I don't know you.
He's not quite there, but
Hug my
I'm
pants.
telling you, if my you can see ones where little girls are completely uncomfortable,
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
uncomfortable, and like
Well,
I said,
I think one of the things is he's doing that to these girls, and the thing is that the dad's like, oh my god, that's my career if I stop.
And
that,
that-
you
and-
know?
but here's the
Like,
question.
there's so much power.
could that be on a level gratifying to him? And it possibly is to kind of touch and have that power to do what they want, do what he wants to
It's
do.
the same
So
thing
in
as-
itself, that could be, you know, his little thrill too.
Louis
you know what I mean?
C.K., and I'll just say this, he apologizes, even though he told these women that he was into certain things, right?
Yeah.
Like he likes, you know, jerking off in front of,
Yep.
you know, people. That's kind of his thing. That's his kink, whatever, right? But then women said, yeah, fine, cool, but then later on regretted it. Louis C.K. apologized and said, you know what, probably shouldn't have done that. I was in a position where, you know.
But
I'm just saying. So he's like, so he realized, hey, I was in a powerful position.
Oh, yeah.
Position, in that probably shouldn't have done that. Whatever.
It's
So
like a therapist with a
yeah.
patient.
And so with
Sometimes when you're the
Biden,
rock star-
I'm like, I probably shouldn't.
But-
You
and
know.
I'm about to show y'all.
Tell me
something really
Biden
quick
doesn't
here.
think he's a rock star too.
Oh, he's a rock. He thinks he's a rock star. Yeah.
This
Is that
is
Baryshnikov?
So I'm showing pictures
Oh.
of a former Soviet leader
Yeah.
who would kiss men on the lips.
Why?
I feel like it's like maybe a similar thing. It's
Ooh,
a
let me look at
dominance
this.
thing because you know none of those dudes wanted to kiss him.
saying, look how locked he is there.
He is locked on.
this right here, he is locked in it.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
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 So it was just something he did. He would kiss them on the mouth.
Yeah, I love it.
okay.
Well, that's
And-
that guy, and that's them.
Just
And
like-
most of these guys are probably
Looks like-
sadists anyway.
Looks like Tom Brady and his grandpa.
I
Well,
said
you
it.
know, you know, those guys had to go home to their kids and like, "Yeah, I had to kiss this man on the lips. Why'd you have to do it, Daddy? Because of the world. You know?
Well, and that guy got a
I
thrill
didn't
out of
want
doing
to,
that.
but
It's sort of like, and to a lesser degree, and it's like Brett Favre when he was here slapping guys on the asses. Now, I don't think it had nothing to do with
yeah,
it.
he hit
But
hard,
he
though.
did, and it was fun, and that
Yeah.
created a sense where he was like, "Woo!"
Yeah.
You know, and it was connection, and there was like and it was a very like you know, camaraderie type thing. But there was a feeling that came from it. So when this guy's kissing people and Biden's like getting and smelling the hair and kissing on the head, there's an immediate
Is he
gratification
doing that with
to
dudes?
him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And here's the biggest kicker.
the
Regardless,
guys,
like
the leader, really quick, was Leonid Brezhnev. Brezhnev?
well, he's not the only one to probably like to do that stuff. I'll probably just say that there.
Yeah,
He
you
was
know.
he was a
But-
it was a short-term Soviet leader. You know.
Joe Biden has been on the wrong side of history on pretty much every issue. And if anyone can name me an issue that he's been on the right side on, then I would.
Shouldn't
I would.
everyone have health care, Dennis?
Well, I read Clarence Thomas's book that he wrote before Obama picked him as his running mate,
Yeah.
and Clarence Thomas talks about his interactions with Biden prior to the Anita Hill hearings,
Uh-huh.
and you know, and it talks about how kind of sleazy he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was before this, so it's just kind
Was
of
that
like
before that?
It's-
well, before he was
Biden was
picked.
an influence.
No, it was.
He was in
Well,
the
no, he's
Senate.
always see. Biden's been in the Senate for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and we already know
He had
that
a full head of hair.
you can. No, well, he's always had hair plugs for a long time
Yeah.
now. But the thing is just like when he says, the experts told us once you go crack, you never go back. So
Yeah,
he's
well,
been
that was
there
the
doing the
90s
bidding, and then the super all of
Demagoguing
yeah.
blacks in inner
Yeah,
cities,
but the point is, it's the experts. So he's been there, towing the line, and just saying, yeah, man, I'm a politician. Look at all this. And plus, he does a lot of eulogies. So he really feels that he's like, you know, this he's been able to kind of run as this
He's the
kind of character.
meteoric person.
Anointed.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know
am
any. I can't think of a single thing he's done, and this is why it's like I don't think this is something to destroy him on, but it's just a thing where it's like, come
not
on,
the end all
man.
Be all. No.
No, well, I mean,
It's
enough for
throwing
me.
a few eggshells.
Well, yeah, well, it's enough for me to say he was weird to begin with. He's kind of goofy, and I don't. You know,
since there's
he's
a
already
spotlight
disqualified
on
himself.
It, yeah, since there's a spotlight on it and we're focusing on it, I go and say, yeah, that's weird. In my mind, it's the way I see it, and I don't like Joe Biden, but the way I see it is he's pretending to be everyone's grandpa because he thinks that's how he's viewed. And the right will not see him as the grandpa because they hate his policies, you know. The left very much do. That's why you're seeing so many people come out and defend him because they see him as more or less a father figure.
Hey, wait, weren't you showing us? Was it Alyssa Milano defending him?
Yeah, her
Yeah.
tweets saying, you know,
yeah,
this,
like,
that,
and
the
so
other.
was it Joe Biden?
Yeah.
He's affectionate.
And then
called him
and then
affectionate?
so then like I'm just curious if the Democratic women, liberal women, will defend him, or will they say nope, me too, boom, he's out?
Well,
It would nullify a lot of the hatred towards Trump. They say Trump's sexist. They are like Biden. That would really nullify that argument quite a bit because he.
So
can
so
just
you're
hit
saying
that
they're
all
like,
day.
no, well, he's fine, well, we have him, like.
well, I think a lot of it comes down to too. It's like anything else. It comes down to politics and winning. And when you
politics.
look at
What?
when you look at the
Winning
field right
what?
here,
You talking about
well,
playoffs?
and this could maybe morph into our presidential candidates topic too, because.
Yeah.
But if you look, it's kind of like sometimes influence is just the sheer the fact of being there. You know,
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders being a socialist up on that stage, and just his presence has pulled the Democrats farther to the left. Now it's like, and you hear like the new crop of Democrats come in, they kind of troll a lot. You know, the new Green Deal, I mean, we saw that not a Democrat voted for it.
So, yeah,
Four
so what
against
was
it.
it? What was it again?
43 voted present, even the people who drafted it.
Say that
So-
one more time. I just want to hear the figures again.
Oh, I just said not a single. 4 Democrats voted in the Senate. 4 Democrats voted against it. 43 Democrats voted present,
Yeah.
and 2 of them were people that crafted the damn bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was trolling. They knew it was never going to
Her
do.
response, Ocasio-Cortez,
Yep.
her response was, I told them to vote present. That's literally what it was. I'm like,
Oh,
if it's
they
your
didn't give us enough
resolution,
time.
What?
fucking
Why?
stand up with it.
That-
you know,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
they? Apparently, they wrote it in a
Why not?
weekend.
Yeah. So she
you know.
she can't say, oh, I'm disappointed that they didn't.
Well,
Because because if they had voted yes, they would have just looked like the most asinine people in the world.
It's but see, the thing is, and this is why they're defending Joe, is because the
Yeah.
real people who know and aren't affected by the feelings of the politics know you will not win running that far left, and this is why they stopped Bernie last time. Bernie, I don't think, would have done as good as Hillary against Trump. Why? Because he's a curmudgeon, Scooby-Doo looking guy. His ideas, they sound good to people who might win a primary, but he will not win a
Yeah.
general, and they know it. And
One
Beto
thing-
couldn't even beat Ted. And Kamala, I'm sorry, it's not happening. Cory Booker, got a problem here. This guy's a fucking cuddler, and I don't buy fucking
Love it.
him in Rosario. You know what I mean?
So one thing I would say is Joe Biden has another layer to him. He is a statue of the Obama presidency.
That's a huge layer.
A
to him.
continuation.
A continuation.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is that there's something wrong with Joe Biden, then there might have been something wrong with the Obama presidency. And there's a huge wing of the Democratic Party. There's a lot of moderates that can identify with those kind of policies, more moderate style policies. And if there was such a huge issue with that there, it would diminish the how we remember the Obama presidency.
Absolutely.
And that would be a huge hit on
Huge
the current,
hit.
standing,
Well, it would
you know.
cement a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, but
not to a lot of people.
Well-
in the mainstream.
Well,
They
but
never know.
they're-
they would
they're-
have a harder
Y-
time.
yeah, you'll
driving their
never,
points.
But Joe Biden is really the Democrats' great white hope, if we want to be honest here, because
Yeah.
they're trying to run away from that, but they can't. and there's really no one who can garner sort of a respect in the general election.
Broad consensus. Yeah.
There's nobody, and the farther left they go, they're going to get way off course. And even with that, they talk about Stacey Abrams being his running mate, but they've already kind of stained that a little bit, and she's not even acknowledging her defeat.
No, yeah, she's
So,
saying
I
she
mean,
won. She lost by
55,000 votes.
Exactly. Stacey Abrams ran for governor in the last election cycle for Georgia.
Yep.
And she lost by 55,000 votes. She's saying that the governor, he probably should have stepped down from the role. I can't remember exact position he was in. The guy running
governor or something.
Yeah, he was lieutenant governor or something. He had some oversight of the election cycle that he was running for governor for, which he probably should have known the optics to it. But it's not going to change 55,000.
Not 55,000.
Not in a small state like Georgia. Georgia has how many millions of people? 6-8 million people. That's a big number in that small of a number. Yeah.
No, but so I mean, who they need that, and they've already kind of took a crap on the who's the guy that Ross
Perot.
No, the one coming here that's running,
Can't finish.
and he hasn't came yet. He's a CEO or something.
Oh, you're talking about the CEO for that used to be a CEO of Starbucks.
I think so.
He's going to run as an independent.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, and they're really mad about it.
Well, and because people are more common sense and balanced than you think, and they're going to have a problem if
Really?
they can't package Joe Biden. Yeah, I really do. You know what I mean? So Joe Biden is sort of their package.
Howard Schultz.
Yeah, Howard Schultz. Which he seems like an interesting guy. I mean, not too extreme.
He would split the votes.
Well, as an independent, but if the Democrats were smart, that's sort of like
to bring him on.
Well, it's like a
He'd be
was
a
the
wild
Kennedy
card.
we were watching?
Yep.
JFK. He's like sort of a good guy. You know what I mean? But he's not going to run with all these feelings politics. But the Democrats know those aren't winning issues.
Well, the thing is
it's like the red meat to the right base. That might win you the base, but we got to get some of that mushy middle.
There has been so much time and devotion put towards dividing up America in these small little sections. Oh, we'll take these people. You can have those people. We're gonna play to this base. You play to that base. It's very segmented. It's very similar to a duopoly in our country. So where you can get Comcast, you can't get Time Warner Cable. And Time Warner Cable is not where Comcast is. They divided where it is, and it's very similar to how our political system has been set up. We get the blacks, you can have the whites and the Asians. Honestly, that's kind of what it is.
We'll fight over the Hispanics,
the Indians.
I was thinking. So I feel like the midterm elections, they were talking about how if you're gonna vote for independent, you're basically voting for Republican.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah.
That's,
yeah. Well.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back and forth because that was the way it was when how Clinton got in there because of Perot, right? Voted for the independent, it helped the Democrat.
So
I
I'm
think specifically
curious.
but
Florida,
that also,
right?
that also kind of just indicates, like I was saying, that momentum.
Well, Ralph Nader got Bush elected because of his Florida votes.
Yeah.
So,
I guess my question was if people continue to vote for independent, would you feel like there would ever be a time where the Republicans are like, oh, wait a second, this person who is an independent, that's actually what we want, and we'll instead of bringing them to the Republican side,
that's pretty much what Trump was to a degree.
Okay, we'll shift, we'll make this shift to. I don't know.
It would cause, I totally see what you're getting. Because, I mean, the Republican Party, especially under Ronald Reagan, was very libertarian leaning. They were self-described libertarians. They're not so that way anymore. The way our government is set up, it doesn't really allow itself to a third party because our presidency is so powerful now. And it's a tough thing.
Yeah.
Parliamentary systems where you have to create more consensus among the members, that lends itself to more individualized parties, which is why you see there's 3 major parties in Canada. I think there's 3 or 4 in the UK as well.
And they kind of divide it up.
Yeah.
But Bernie's a supposed independent, even though I've watched it for a long time, and he's like the uber left Jewel. They always love talking to him. But he's
they like
technically
parading him
is an
around.
independent.
I mean,
you know what I
he-
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's sort of his shtick where he lives because, this is why he supports gun rights. Because in Massachusetts, there's a
Not
lot
anymore.
of people. Well, that's why he has.
fuck.
Probably, well, he can't now.
He can't now because he's taking the, he
Probably
learned-
can't even say a baby in the womb is a baby.
Yeah,
If he believes
well,
that or not, he ain't going there.
The whole thing is he
Man,
has
I'm
gone
such a
all
lot of
in.
abortion stuff.
He has gone all in. He
he had to.
Well, the thing is last time he ran, he had weak foreign policy, and the guns hurt him too. Now he
Absolutely.
has gone full bore guns, NRA. We need to ban assault rifles. He has been tweeting about the New Zealand gun laws and said, "Look at New Zealand. Why aren't we doing these kind of things?"
Yeah, but he got shafted too. Is there's a
He got fucked over
there's
in the
a
corner.
Was he at
there's
the cuddling thing?
there's like a it's like a Mexican dude who's a liberal that I'm friends with on Facebook, and he was a big Bernie supporter last time, and
Yep.
this time around he was posted something saying that am I going to get called white again for supporting Bernie, and how a lot of his
yeah?
and a lot of his supporters were called, that's just more white guys supporting him. And today, listening to Jake Tapper, they were saying he had a problem courting African American voters before.
He had
And-
Killer Mike.
But what I'm saying though is, do you see how they screwed him over before with the superdelegates? They don't want him, so they're already putting that.
Well, because-
they're calling people who are Bernie supporters that are white guys. They're like
Bernie
chastising
bros.
them for being Bernie supporters. So they're trying to marginalize his base as is. I mean, that right there is like propaganda in a way where they're trying
yeah.
to steer and do things because they don't want them.
Well,
So they're putting out these little feelers of, it's just white guys doing that, and then it's like, well, I'm a white guy. I don't want to be labeled that, So I'll support
it's the
Kamala.
It's a politics of identity politics.
Yeah, well, and
honestly.
he promotes it and is getting his ass kicked by it. That's how stupid he is in
Well,
that regard.
Honestly, I took it. So yeah, he didn't. Hillary Clinton did better. Hillary Clinton had more name recognition, which I think helped a lot. But she did better with black voters during that time. And in all honesty, that made me hopeful because I was like, what does Bernie do? Bernie just promises you the fucking world, and you
Yeah.
don't have to pay for it. That is his platform. What do you need? What do you want? Okay, it's free. That's Bernie's
If
platform.
Bernie Sanders
and
was-
people stood up and said, "No, I don't want it.
Yeah, no, and they're going to do it again.
We don't think it's gonna work."
If Bernie Sanders was managing a property, I wouldn't want to live there.
So
Just saying, I'm sorry, because
his
What are you
wife-
doing here?
yeah,
His wife helped run a college in Burlington, Vermont, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it folded. Yeah,
like Inception, like it just like
it just yeah.
folded itself.
I think how many houses does he have? Does he have 4 houses?
I think he's got a few houses.
I think so. What do you call a socialist politician with 4 houses?
Bernie Sanders.
Mediocre.
Oh, gotcha. God.
No, well, but they do. They're playing in games with him because he's not. They know they really can't win with him.
No,
And this is.
I think
They're even trying to
in
build
the
a bootnig
fucked up
now.
World, in the fucked up world we have right now, I think it would be Bernie Sanders versus Trump would be too. It would just be 2 ridiculous options, and you're just picking through ridiculousness. That's the thing that concerns myself because
Well, who's
Donald
an
Trump.
unridiculous person on the left? Someone unridiculous.
Yep.
Unless let's just say this hypothetically, unless Al Gore gets back in the race,
Okay.
who is the most coherent or
Who would you
best
rather
person on the left?
So
So is that Joe Biden?
no, I wouldn't. Most coherent person on the left.
Yeah.
Are you talking like best to take on Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Or the one that I think.
Well,
is
the one that is most qualified to, that you like, and the one that you think you can win and can take on Trump, because they're gonna have to do the triple crown here.
So Steve Buddha Butt. I don't know what his name is. Buttigieg.
Yeah,
it's,
he's related to Steve Gutenberg.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought
He seems one of the
Let's say
better
Joe
ones. He seems one of the less.
He's a mayor though, so it's like hard to take a mayor and project him to president.
So
yeah,
I would like to say there have been very few senators that have won the presidency.
Very few senators.
Majority are governors. Actually,
well, and that makes sense, isn't
Yes,
it?
'cause
It shows how
they-
smart people are
yes, and the thing is,
because they want that experience.
It's more experience. It's more executive experience.
Exactly.
Role. There, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
So, in all honesty, I don't know if because the senators don't have as much to stand on as the governor. Governors have a lot of to stand on. Is the thing. They
Yeah.
have a lot of results. They are the de facto leader of a whole
Is
state.
how many? Is there any governors on the left that are running? Wasn't there a Maryland?
don't
I think
know.
Maryland's.
Jesse the Body, I believe.
I'm not sure about governors. Steve Buttigieg, Buttigieg, fuck me. I know. Yeah, he's a mayor, South Bend, Indiana mayor, and I listened to him on NPR, softball questions and everything. Turned South Bend around pretty well. I think South Bend, Indiana had a big crime, issue. Main Street was dying. I feel like he, in a just world, he would be probably the top right now, but we don't. We live in a polarized world where, headlines.
Can he crack that?
Yeah.
Can people get
headlines
past the
drive.
butt too? Names matter.
Yeah, he's got butt for a name. I mean, Obama had Hussein as a middle name, so he did pretty good there.
Well, he had
Obama.
Obama for a last name and Barack as a first name
Barack
too.
Barack
For
Obama.
Kenyon, he did okay.
Which I'm going to come back to that, but sometimes when I see that with the Russia thing is the left is trying to undermine Trump's presidency, I think as retaliation for him trying to undermine Obama's presidency. So it's kind of like you're trying to say my guy's illegitimate, you're illegitimate.
Yeah.
I literally.
That's
shit.
what it is
Who-
too. It's payback.
I think it was the Wall Street Journal, if I'm not mistaken, in digesting everything that happened around the Mueller reports. They literally justified it by saying that we were so emotionally, affected by Trump being president that we put too much into it. Literally, the press has been apologizing.
Oh, yeah.
For their buildup of the Mueller report before anything had actually been released. There was people that literally said in the news, I know stuff that's not released yet, and that did not come to be.
Well,
And
they're
they
still
gave
saying it
so
too.
much credence. They
Yeah.
gave it so much credence, and one of the excuses was
Unnamed sources.
Yes, we were so emotionally traumatized by Trump being elected that we couldn't. Our minds would not allow us to accept him. As
Isn't that what Jay
president.
Behar
As a
said
just president.
about the Covington boys? She's like, well, we want to get him out of office. Who? Trump. We hate Trump.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's a crazy thing, and the thing is, people are human, but you gotta. One thing it really shows is the absolute. The news media is just flush with left-leaning people, not just left to center left-leaning people.
Yeah. Well, I say it would take a hell of a good game and some good debates for Buttigieg to raise his. You got to give me the right definition, otherwise
Buttigieg.
that's
Buttigieg.
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 Oh, Buttigieg. That's easy. It's Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
Do we edit that
Booty,
out
booty,
there,
booty,
or
booty,
do we
No,
get that right?
No, what's the actual name though?
One second here.
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
What's his first name again though?
Fat.
Paul?
Shit.
Fatty. Fatty Buttigieg.
Well, that guy. It would take a pretty good
Pete
Pete
Buttigieg. Buttigieg?
Let me see.
Buttigieg?
Buttigieg. So
Buttigieg.
it would take a big, heavy lifting of Pete being a mayor to be able to raise his profile, to be able to be trusted in that high-profile situation. It's like you're drafting a quarterback. You want someone who's been there or is under stress.
Yeah.
This and that. So
South
even
in Indiana,
I
a
asked
town of,
you.
what, 300,000 maybe?
Well, and I asked you too if and last time you said it was Biden. If we went Biden up against Trump, who would you want in charge of pretty much
yeah.
any situation, or who would you cling to in a situation? Because I even seen Whitney Cummings, who some call her Whitney Cummings.
Yep.
I was gonna say a joke, but I did.
Yep.
I totally
No,
in
no,
my
we all-
mind.
I think we all paused at the table. there. We're like, who's gonna do it? Yep.
But she was talking in an interview, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I mean, about the Republican candidates. She's like, Trump was like the alpha, and if something happened, I would go to him first. And she let something true. So it's like, and when it comes down to it, is that guy someone that you consider an alpha? Because if he's not, who?
That was the issue with Obama.
Yeah.
People didn't see Obama.
No,
as
and
an
Romney
alpha.
could have won if he had leaned on him. But that's neither here nor there. But the Christians didn't fully support Romney, and that was his biggest downfall. Because if he would have got the vote,
Mormon.
yeah, well, yeah. But the point is
Not that there's anything bad with Mormons, but he's fucking Mormon.
but
Seriously.
Fucking Mormon.
so if it came down to it with Brother Pete or Trump, it's like,
Oh, he
How
would
many times-
steamroll him because
yeah, steamroll.
you can't prepare for the shit posting.
No.
know, and just the absolute.
Especially if
just
you haven't been there.
How shitty this president is willing. How dirty this president's willing to get.
And
No,
that's how dirty it's gonna take to get there. And
will
when you go
say-
back to the early guys, like the presidents from when it first started, it got ugly. You know what I mean? These guys,
Oh, it
they
got
were
ugly as fuck.
Yeah.
One of the ugliest fucking elections we've had in a long
they
time.
were not playing around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what it takes sometimes. That's why they call it politics is a dirty game. People die. I mean, it's
People, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Die.
Yeah. There we go, Chris. We'll end on that.
People
All right.
die.
People die.
People die. Well, we very much appreciate you guys listening into this conversation. Honestly, we've recorded and re-recorded so many times.
It's
I have
amazing.
no idea what we
It
said.
feels great. No,
Okay.
it'll be great. It'll be edited as fuck.
We'll be buying a new.
It'll be huge. It'll be beautiful.
It'll be huge.
You know what's gonna
So-
happen? There's gonna be 22 shares, 22 likes, this one
22
video.
shares. Yep.
And we'll take our shirts off.
Yeah.
And,
I'll do it.
Man cuddle.
We'll man cuddle. We're gonna cuddle.
Platonic
Yes.
man cuddle. Y'all are 18.
You
right?
guys need to. I need a signed waiver.
We need to sign a waiver.
yep.
Okay. We need our
No
tou-
hugging, though,
Our
only
no touch
cuddling.
zones. Our no touch zones.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Clearly marked.
For
Okay.
for Chris,
We will
there's
be naked.
no area that's a no touch zone.
I want to make sure there's no weapons here, so there we will be naked.
I love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
That's
right.
funny. God. All right. Well, you guys, thank you for coming into our world, listening to us.
Yes.
Listening
If
to
you-
our views about news and shit.
If you've made it this far, give us that fucking share.
Yeah. Give
Just
us a like.
fucking
I'm
do it.
desperate.
I
Like
was
a
totally
$3
gonna look up.
whore.
We got a couple likes, and I
Yeah.
was gonna give a shout
Oh
out.
yeah. There was someone who like.
We'll give a shout out.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I love it,
next
yeah.
week. Okay.
We
first
see
day.
you, Brian, Pete, John.
Denver.
You guys, he's
Courtney.
there. You white male.
There we go.
All right. Yes. So, anyways, thank you very much. You guys rock. Again, thank you, Dennis, for coming out
Absolutely.
and sharing your thoughts and
Let
opinions.
us know if we should
and
have him
feelings.
back. All right.
It's all
us know.
dependent on
And-
the
we will have a
viewers and the
poll.
listeners.
Be honest too, and let them know if it goes
Absolutely.
the other way. I
I
mean,
love it. I love it. I'll just
there's
walk
always
away.
cuddle
Do we
groups I
just-
could go to.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
Support
I'm gonna
groups.
see if there's a Minneapolis one. We should
Thank you.
do. We should totally do a like an in-depth investigation into this.
Yes.
Okay.
In depth. We're doing
Yeah.
it. All right. You guys, thank you very much. Thank you for listening to.
Well, that's your
opinion,
man.
man.
Awesome. You guys have a great night.
What are we going to do about the other generation? How will we ever communicate without communication? When we are using words the modern way.
They're much too big to try to dig the colorful things we say.